All right, hey guys, everybody good? All right, well, I'll start off by, just saying, New Mexico Highlands to start off like it's their Super Bowl. When they come in here, our guys handled that. They came in with a lot of energy. They were prepared, played really hard that first half, and was really proud of the effort our guys put forth that second half of really playing our brand of basketball, getting stops, getting out in transition. We were able to play everyone that was available tonight, and so great way to get it started.
Yeah, his first win here officially. I know you had the exhibition game, but what was it like to just get that first one out of the way?
Oh man, it feels great. Feels great. Anytime you get a win, and especially the first one, the opening night. I mean, we had a great crowd. Good to see the Super Pit active and live. We've been practicing here all summer, all fall, and now it's live. It's go time, and so appreciate the fans coming out midweek like this or early week like this. So really excited.
Yeah, big night for Stevenson. Was that kind of what you anticipated when you brought him with you?
Jay Sean's a special kid. He's mature beyond his years. He's high IQ player, high character young man. He works extremely hard. He's our hardest worker. He's the most diligent guy, and so it's easy to root for him. He carried us in the first half, and teammates came along in the second half.
What turned it after you guys kind of got off to a bit of a slow start? I mean, they led there late in the half.
Yeah, I think like I mentioned, it's hard for our guys to gauge what this game means to a team like Highlands. They are putting everything they had into this game. I mean, their coach was really into it from the start. I mean, they had some real strategy, and so it was good for our guys to feel that and to work through that. I think when you look across the country, the first few games, you don't have a lot of information on in terms of scheme. We knew personnel because the players played at a lot of different places, and so our guys handled themselves fine the first half, and then the second half they really jumped out on them.
Yeah, 11 new players, completely new roster. How do you think this thing is kind of coming together as you see your team in this first?
Yeah, well, today was a good test. I mean, when you have everyone getting in the game and contributing in some way, it feels good. You want to just continue to build each game. I mean, we don't have much time to celebrate this because we've got another one coming up on Thursday, and so we'll put this to bed tomorrow and get ready for Northwestern State.
Absolutely, Coach. What were some of those defensive adjustments that you kind of made after learning a little more about New Mexico Highlands?
Yeah, well, I think not so much adjustments, more of like playing with a little more urgency, and upping our level of physicality. Sometimes when you work on a scout, you kind of get in a rhythm and you know what to expect. And so we really didn't get an opportunity to work on scouting for this team. And so the guys were, I felt like in the first half, they were like, maybe a step slow or a little hesitant. And at halftime, we just threw that out the window and said, hey, we're playing to our standard. Regardless of the opponent, we want to make sure we play to our standard. And I felt like the guys got that message at the half.
Yeah, your programs are known for that. That defensive intensity. What have you guys done, during the summer and practices to call back on that and then up the intensity in this game?
Yeah, well, in the heat of the moment, when you're out there playing a game, you want to rely on your habits, and those are the things that you've done from day one. And so, you look at the majority of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis is we start off with defense, and so that's what showed up for us. That's what's going to carry us. I mean, when you look at our team, we've got a nice collection of players, but the pieces fit together. I wouldn't say that we have high-end talent, but collectively, I like our unit, and we're going to continue to get better. And so, we're going to have to totally rely on our habits.
Absolutely.
examining that slower first half, you know, what were your thoughts about your team's performance at the free throw line going 11 or 11 to 20?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, that's something that, you know, we do a ton of free throw shooting every single day, and so our guys' numbers are pretty good, and so, you know, guys have to get game reps and put the real pressure on themselves, and so when you see the numbers like that in the first half. You know, over time, the guys have to take onus in that, and you know, when they're shooting free throws away from game time, they have to rep it out and do what their routine is and what they do in the game. So we'll be better.
First off, congratulations on your first win for sure. And you talked about every guy got in the game, right? So I think you went 10-11 deep in the first half. So can you talk about the confidence you have and your roster from the first man to the last man on the bench?
Yeah, so, you know, my ideal for our program is to, no matter who steps in the game, that the level doesn't decrease. And, you know, some of the guys that we sub in raise our level. And that's how we practice every day. If we're going to play extremely hard and compete the way we do, guys can't play 37, 38 minutes if you're competing at that high level. Now, you know, games are going to slow down as conference play comes along and, you know, those type of things. But right now, I have a tremendous amount of confidence in every one of our guys. You know, we've been competing, you know, all summer, all fall, and there's not a ton of separation with some guys. And so, you know, we challenged them at halftime to empty their tanks and play a little bit harder, play with a little bit more edge, and play our brand of basketball. And that allowed us to play more guys. And I felt like that second group after the 16-minute mark really broke the game open. You know, they went a good stretch, and those were guys that, you know, were coming off the bench that really broke the game open.
From a leadership standpoint, who are some of the guys that were steering the energy shift in order to end up as what you would probably argue is what the culture of this North Texas team is?
Yeah, well, it started with David Terrell, and I challenged him personally at halftime. Like, you're the head of the snake. You've got to get after the ball. You've got to put pressure on the ball and disrupt and trust everyone behind you. And so he got started with that, and then you know, Dylan Arnett got a deflection, and D. Watt got a deflection, and then Jay Sean gets a steal, and so that started the momentum. But it all started with our ball pressure up top.
I remember talking to you preseason. I said, "Hey, what do you think this team can achieve?" You said, "Well, I don't know till we play our first game after facing your first real opponent." Yeah. What is the potential of this team? Yeah,
well, you see that we have a number of guys that can play multiple positions. You have a number of guys that, I mean, we had, I mean, some of the guys today, like, I mean, E.J. Horton, I mean, he was really good in his minutes. You know, you see Will McClendon, he was good in his minutes. And so, you know, we have a different combinations. I think it's, you know, ultimately really early to say, hey, we'll be this. You know, I like our pieces, and I think we have a lot of room to grow in a lot of areas. And so, you know, we've got off to a great start. Man, we'll have another challenge ahead of us on Thursday. And so, you know, we'll get a chance to really take a look at this in some areas where, you know, although we talked about this being their Super Bowl, there's still some areas in the first half that, you know, we need to clean up and be ready for. And so there's still, you know, a ton of room to grow from this.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, so kind of your season debut tonight. I know you had the exhibition, but how did you feel about the way you guys played?
Man, I feel like we was just antsy. Like, it's our first time really where it count against somebody else. So I think for the most part, we were just super excited to go out there and finally play.
To add on that, like, we were just ready to play somebody else. I know, like, the exhibition, but, you know, this counted. So I think, you know, early on we were just, you know, getting our feet wet, but, you know, we pulled it together.
And then, so you guys got off to a bit of a slow start. What turned it after you guys maybe didn't play as well as you wanted to in the first half?
Yeah, again, I just feel like we've had a long off season, and I mean, this first game of the year, everybody's going to be a little antsy. So I just think it just took time for us to settle in. We was missing early chippies that we could have made, but I just think we just had to settle in, and then everything was going to come together.
I think it was more the defensive end. Like, they was making shots, and that's what we pride ourselves off of. So I think once we was able to get our defense into the game, that's when it took off for us.
Yeah, 1-4. And then I mean, you guys have so many new pieces this year, a completely new roster. Is it just going to take some time for you guys to kind of find it here and gel a little bit as a program?
I mean, I feel like, teams are definitely they start off not like togetherness, and then later in the year, I feel like everything will just come together. Chemistry will start to build. We'll be in battles on the road. Everything will just come together. So I just feel like it's early. We just want to play our best ball when March come around.
Yeah, I think, like he said, it's early. It's very, very early. But I think, we got the main pieces. Like, we all want to win. We all playing for each other. So, like I said, we still, getting our feet wet. So I think once we get games under us, like, we'll be fine.
Yeah, 1-4. And then defense, you guys, this program has kind of been built on defense over the course of years. Now, I know you guys weren't around for the last few years, but it's been like a 5-year run here when they've been really good at it. You feel like you guys are picking up where those teams kind of left off in terms of being a solid defensive team?
Of course, I think, Coach D-Rob, he prides himself on defense just as much as anybody. So I think that just comes, it comes with a lot of game rest. But, like, we get out there every day and practice on the defensive end. So I think we're not going to have any problem picking where they left off at.
4. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, examining that first half where you guys had some of those defensive struggles, what were some of the adjustments you guys made to slow the New Mexico Highlands down?
Yeah, I think our intensity levels there, we was playing hard. I just think I'm going to just circle back again. We just had to settle in, came and adjusted. They did the little short roll. Second half, we took that away, and I think it changed the tide of the game.
And how does that defensive performance and that uptick in defense kind of fuel your guys' offense for you?
Man, I feel like, offense feeds on defense, defense feeds on offense. So, like, when we getting stops, like, it's just all energy builders. So, I feel like it's contagious to the offensive end, get steals, easy layup, easy points. Then, you might make the tough one. So I think, that everything starts on defense.
And you had such a great offensive night. What got you going there?
I think what I was just telling the guys the whole time when they was having their little run, like, it's just basketball. So, like, I just came out there knowing I'm going to be aggressive, like, no matter who we play. So I think that's something I'm just going to keep trying to do, and just hopefully the shots go fall.
Well, I thought you were poised with the ball. You hit some big shots, some big time threes. Can you talk about what you were seeing out there and how you felt coming into today's game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just try to pride myself. I'm a senior guard, so I just try to pride myself on being poised, being another coach on the floor. It's a new team. Everything's pretty new, but again, I've had a lot of experience, and I just try to stay poised throughout the game.
And for you as well, you got some open looks in the corner. You got downhill and some drives. So can you talk about the confidence you have in your teammates feeding you those open baskets? You don't have a lot of continuity.
Yeah, like I said, like, man, we've been practicing together for a long time, so I know what he could do. I know when he's seeing me. So just in general, like, it's just basketball. So, like, obviously it's gonna take time for us to, like, really figure out, the ins and outs of it. But, like, once again, I know to be aggressive. So, like, today the shot just went in.
Jay Sean, we talked on Wednesday, and you said this team would really shock everyone in terms of physicality. How do you feel Robinson's scheme has transitioned over to North Texas?
Like I said, me playing for him last year, like, he's just very big on defense, and I think that's going to set us up for success. Just, taking pride in not letting other teams score. Like, we're going to score. Like, that's not going to be an issue. But I think where we're going to be at our best is when we're going to, like, be locked in and dialed in on the defensive end of the floor. So I think he's done a great job with just implementing that in throughout the summer.
Do you feel like it's elevated any since coming to Denton?
I think, yeah, just the type of guy he is, like, and, the type of players. He always try to make us know, like, that we ain't done anything and we still got stuff to prove. So I think just the intensity of knowing that, like, we got work to do is still, meat out on the bone. So I think he just come every day, just ready to work.
And lastly, like, what are y'all trying to achieve? Y'all play your first Division I opponent on Thursday. What are you going to take away from this game in order to beat Northwestern State?
Yeah, I mean, I think our biggest goal is we just want to be better than yesterday. Every time we go out there, we feel like we're competing with ourselves, and I just think we stay together, and obviously, hopefully, that the outcome will be what we want.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You guys.
One,
You guys.
finish.